Guys, Shrapnel here. Long time no see. Do pardon the mess. I haven't gotten around to doing that yet today. But it's been a while since I've done any videos at all. I think the last video I put up was like last spring sometime. But something I haven't done in a really long time is a gear video. And I'm going to go over a staple of my EDC that's been on my hip for a while now. It went on my hip the day I got it, and it's been there since. And that is a Leatherman Rebar. Before we get onto the tool, I'll talk about the sheath. It's not picking up very well on camera, but the black coating on the sheath, I don't really know what to call it, is coming off. Up here, you can see a little discoloration, I think. Down here as well as on the edges on the back. That being said, there's also the button where the black paint is coming off. But enough of the sheath, that's boring. Onto the tool. The snap closure works great, by the way. Retighten my lanyard. So, the tool. Pliers work nice. Fold up fairly easy. I put the lanyard on it so I can do this. Get access to it fairly quickly. It's really, I don't know how to best explain it, but honestly at first I didn't like it. I'll be completely honest. I'm taking the lanyard off because it was an idea that I didn't really like. So put that away. At first I didn't like it. It felt cheap. I had to break it in. The pliers, they were not very free moving. Now they're buttery smooth. Speaking of the pliers, those cutters, marvelous. And you can get a lot of grip strength on this. People are loud. Okay, so we'll get started on this side, the tool set. So you have your serrated blade. I use this as a cheese knife, mostly. Don't ask. Can opener, bottle opener with wire stripper. This was fairly nice. I don't really use this very much, but living in a dorm room where I can cook, it's actually proving quite handy. Bottle opening function if I get any of the fancy soda or pop, whichever you may call it. If you get the fancier stuff, it comes in a bottle. Most of the time it's twist, but why twist it when you can feel cool? The wire stripper I have actually used, not personally. My grandfather used it to strip a wire when we were replacing the connector for my truck because I had a bad connection, so we replaced one of the clamps that grabs onto the battery, and we had to strip the wire to do that because the wire was all garbage. So we had to expose some fresh wire, and we used that. Phillips driver, it's a Phillips driver. It's a 3D one instead of 2D. I honestly kind of like the 2D a little better, but whatever. Last tool on this side is the saw. It's not very broken in on this end because I don't use the saw very much, but it's nice to have. Moving on to this side, plain blade, razor sharp. Let's do a quick cut test. Fold this up for safety's sake. Let's see. What do I have to cut? I'll use a piece of paper. It's printer paper. Not the cleanest cut in the world, but It's still running factory edge. I've used it a few times. This isn't my main blade. My main blade is usually something along the lines of Mannix 2, Bird Raven, a full-size EDC with it. Or heck, even this. CRKT Fossil. I go for a more full-size blade nowadays. Back to what I was doing. So then we have this cluster of tools, plus the lanyard ring. The lanyard ring doesn't lock, which I kind of like. I'm trying to remember. I had another, I can't remember which tool. It was this one actually. The Gerber, I think this is the MP600 blunt nose. Whatever it is. The lanyard ring. Let me get that out real quick. Gotta find it first. There you are, you little bugger. Yeah, it locks in place, which I don't like. Anyways, moving on. Flathead driver. There's actually pen ink on it. Can't remember why. Then I have a flathead driver, which I use a larger one, which I use to pry. Shouldn't do that, but I do it anyways. I don't care. And then you have an awl that's sharpened with a sewing eye, and it's quite pointy. I often have to be careful because I do jab myself with that whenever I'm getting at those tools. Last but not least, again, this tool is very stiff. Is your 3-sided file. Notching, bastard mill, and crosscut. Overall, this tool is phenomenal. I paid like 50 bucks for it, I think. I can't remember. Not that it's really relevant, because you can find these fairly easily and everywhere. I'd say the prices range from about, at the low end, $40 if you get lucky, all the way up to $60. Don't pay more than $60, because at that price range you're getting into some really high-end ones. But this is probably the best one on the market. I actually prefer this over the Wave. Right now my Wave is in pieces because it broke, and I'm not sending it back to Leatherman because I just don't care. So I'm going to use the parts for other things. I'll quickly just explain that, actually. My Wave broke because one of the pivot screws came loose for some stupid reason. I think I got my Wave used, and I believe the prior owner took it apart at one point, and I always had a problem with one of the screws. And what happened was one of these screws came off when I was moving. It was loose, and I didn't have the time to put the screw back in because I had already packed my driver set, my Torx driver set. So I just took it, I just let it be, and I put it in the box. This box fell over, and the screw popped out, and it's gone. So currently I have a useless Wave, but I don't care. I'm not heartbroken. I got it in a trade. Traded a knife I didn't like for a multi-tool that didn't fit my needs. Oh well. Lesson learned. Leatherman Rebar. Highly recommend it. 5 out of 5 stars. Thanks for watching.